If you're over 60, some of the seafood you've been eating might be quietly working against your health. You've probably heard that fish is good for your heart, brain, and joints, and in many cases that's true. But new studies show that certain seafood, including some that seem healthy, may actually make joint pain worse, cloud your thinking, and raise your blood pressure without you realizing it. At the same time, there are other kinds of seafood that can do just the opposite. They help reduce inflammation, support clearer memory, and even help rebuild cartilage as you age. The problem is most people over 60 are eating the wrong ones simply because no one ever told them the difference. Today we're changing that. You'll discover which seafoods can slowly damage your body over time, and which ones can help you stay sharp, strong, and active for years to come. But before we begin, let me ask you this. Have you been dealing with unexplained joint pain or memory issues lately? And how often do you eat seafood each week? All right, let's get into it. We'll start with the harmful ones, going from the least serious all the way to the most dangerous. And the last one, it's been linked to severe infections that have sent thousands of older adults to the hospital each year. Number 4, seafood to avoid is farm-raised tilapia. It shows up in frozen meal packs, restaurant menus, and maybe even your weekly grocery list. It's affordable and often seen as a safe protein for older adults. But if you've been eating tilapia regularly, especially after turning 60, there's something you need to know. Linda, 66, had just started a new routine after retiring. She wanted to eat lighter, so she began replacing red meat with tilapia 3, sometimes 4 times a week. It seemed like the healthy thing to do. But after a couple of months, she noticed her knees were aching more in the mornings. She felt more tired after lunch. And her doctor told her cholesterol had actually gone up, which didn't make sense. So she started asking questions. And what she learned surprised her. Most of the tilapia sold in U.S. stores is imported from overseas fish farms, where the fish are raised in crowded tanks and fed a low-quality diet made from corn, soy, and even poultry waste. That diet changes the nutritional makeup of the fish. Instead of heart-healthy omega-3s, farm-raised tilapia is packed with omega-6, which when out of balance can lead to chronic inflammation. And inflammation is no small thing. It's behind joint pain, high blood pressure, even memory issues. One study even found that the type of fat in farmed tilapia could promote more inflammation than eating a greasy fast food burger. Worse, these imported fish are rarely inspected, so harmful contaminants like bacteria, chemicals, or heavy metals can end up on your plate without you knowing. If tilapia is something you eat often, it's worth rethinking. Try switching to fish like wild-caught salmon, pollock, or rockfish. These options have healthier fats, cleaner sources, and better benefits for your joints, heart, and brain. Linda made the change. She now eats canned wild salmon twice a week and bakes cod fillets on weekends. Her knee stiffness has eased, and she says she finally feels like her meals are helping her, not holding her back. Number 3, seafood to avoid is cheap frozen shrimp. It's the kind that comes in big bags, peeled, pre-cooked, ready to go. Throw it in a pan with some garlic and olive oil, and dinner's done in 10 minutes. That's what Doris, 70, liked about it. Quick, simple, and it felt healthy. But after eating it every week for months, she started getting these strange red patches on her arms. Her skin felt dry and itchy, and she just couldn't shake the tiredness even after a full night's sleep. She thought maybe it was the weather, or maybe just age, until her son asked what she'd been eating lately. When she mentioned the shrimp, he frowned and said, "You might want to look into that. Here's the thing. The really cheap shrimp often comes from places where it's farmed in crowded pools pumped full of chemicals just to keep it alive. Those chemicals don't always get cleaned out, and they can end up in your food. And when you're over 60, your body doesn't filter out toxins as easily as it used to. So what seems like a harmless protein on your plate could be quietly making your skin act up, draining your energy, or weakening your immune system." Doris didn't believe it at first, but she stopped buying the shrimp just to see. Switched to a small pack of wild-caught shrimp once a month instead. 2 weeks later, the rash started to fade. A month after that, her energy was back. She told me I thought I was saving money, but really I was paying for it in other ways. If shrimp's part of your routine, that's okay. Just check the label. Skip the ones that don't say where they're from or sound too cheap to be true. Standing at number 2 in today's list is king mackerel. It's a bold-tasting fish. Big, oily, firm, the kind you might throw on the grill when you want something hearty. That's what Ernest, 66, liked about it. He'd pick up a couple of thick mackerel steaks from the market every weekend. He figured he was doing something good for his heart. But over time, things started to feel off. He began forgetting names mid-conversation, dropped his phone twice in 1 week, He said it felt like his mind was slipping a gear. Then the tremors started small at first, just a shake in the fingers when holding his morning coffee. His doctor ran some tests, and the results pointed to high mercury levels. What many people don't realize is that larger fish like king mackerel often carry more mercury than smaller ones. They live longer, eat other fish, and over time mercury builds up in their bodies and in yours. Once mercury gets into your system, it doesn't just leave quietly. It can settle in your brain, affect your nerves, and over time it can show up as memory loss, fatigue, or that strange tingling in your hands and feet. Ernest didn't need convincing after that. He stopped eating mackerel, switched to safer fish like sardines and wild-caught salmon, and within weeks the brain fog began to lift. He told his brother, "It's like I've got my spark back." If you enjoy fish but notice signs like forgetfulness, shakiness, or numbness in your feet, don't brush it off as just getting older. Sometimes it's your body saying, "Hey, something's not right." Big fish can carry big risks. But there are safer choices out there that still give you the omega-3s your brain and heart need without the heavy metal price tag. Topping the list at number 1, the most dangerous seafood for older adults is raw oysters. They may look fancy on a dinner plate, but for people over 60, they can carry a hidden risk most folks never hear about. Walt is 72. He and his wife love treating themselves to fresh oysters when they visit their favorite seaside restaurant. It was their little tradition, a dozen raw shared over cold drinks. One weekend, not long after dinner, Walt started feeling sick. Feverish. Chills. His stomach turned and strange red spots started appearing on his legs. By morning, he was in the emergency room. The doctors told him he had a blood infection, one caused by bacteria that sometimes live in raw oysters. And because his immune system wasn't as strong as it used to be, the infection spread fast. He was lucky, he recovered. But he spent over a week in the hospital, and it scared him enough that he hasn't touched raw shellfish since. Here's why it matters: as we age, our bodies become less able to fight off certain bacteria. And raw oysters, especially the ones harvested from warm waters, can carry a dangerous strain that younger people might shake off. But for older adults, it can be life-threatening. Symptoms often start mild, a little stomach upset, maybe a fever. But within 24 hours, it can turn serious fast. The good news is simple: you don't have to give up oysters altogether. Just cook them. Steaming or grilling can kill the harmful bacteria completely. And if you still want something similar in taste and nutrition, try cooked mussels. They're rich in minerals like zinc and B12 without the same risk. Walt still enjoys seafood. He just enjoys it cooked now. He says, "Same flavor, but now I sleep better at night and not in a hospital bed." So now that we've seen which seafoods might be silently working against your body, let's flip the script. Because the ocean doesn't just hold risk. It also holds real solutions, powerful natural foods that can help your body feel stronger, clearer, and more stable with age. You don't need to take 10 different supplements or give up seafood altogether. You just need to know what your body actually needs and where to find it. Let's go through 4 of the best seafoods for people over 60. Each one brings something unique to the table, whether it's for your joints, your brain, your bones, or your heart. The number 4 seafood you should eat after 60 is sardines. Don't let their size fool you. These tiny fish are packed with powerful nutrients your body needs more of as you age. They support stronger bones, clearer thinking, and better heart function, all in a single can. Eleanor, 68, never liked the idea of canned fish. But after her doctor told her she was losing bone density, she got serious about calcium. Pills made her nauseous, and milk didn't sit well with her stomach. Her niece, a nutritionist, suggested sardines. "Try 2 servings a week," she said. So Eleanor gave it a shot: a few sardines on whole grain toast twice a week. 3 months later, her blood work showed a big jump in vitamin D. And her knees less stiff than they'd been in years. Here's why sardines work so well. They're rich in calcium, not the kind that floats through supplements and passes out, but the kind that gets absorbed. Why? Because sardines come with vitamin D and phosphorus built in. That trio helps your bones use the calcium properly without creating kidney stones like some pills can. They also contain more CoQ10 than most fish, a nutrient that fuels your heart and supports energy, especially important after 60. And unlike larger fish, sardines eat plankton, which means very little mercury. You can eat them regularly without worrying about toxins building up. One study even found that seniors who ate sardines twice a week had stronger bones and fewer heart problems over time compared to those who relied on supplements. For best results, go with wild-caught sardines packed in olive oil or water, not soybean oil. Mash them with avocado for a creamy spread, mix into pasta, or enjoy them with crackers. If texture bothers, You start with skinless, boneless ones. Eleanor now calls them her quiet superfood. Not flashy, but life-changing. The number 3 seafood to eat after 60 is wild-caught salmon. This isn't just a protein source, it's one of nature's most powerful brain protectors. If you're dealing with memory fog, fatigue, or mood swings as you age, this fish may help turn the tide. Martha, 70, started noticing she was forgetting simple things, names, grocery items, even why she'd walked into a room. Her doctor said it was normal for her age, but she wasn't ready to accept that. Her daughter suggested adding wild salmon to her meals a few times a week, not farmed wild. At first, Martha hesitated. Is it really that different? But she gave it a try, grilled salmon on salad salmon patties from canned fillets. Within 2 months, she noticed she wasn't losing her train of thought as often. Her energy came back. She even started reading again without getting mentally tired. So what makes wild salmon so powerful? First, it's packed with omega-3 fatty acids, the kind your brain uses to stay sharp, and your joints use to stay mobile. But wild salmon also contains something most fish don't, astaxanthin, a deep red pigment that's one of the most potent antioxidants known. It crosses the blood-brain barrier, helping protect brain cells from age-related damage. There's more. Wild salmon delivers vitamin D in natural form, up to 1,000 IU per serving, plus selenium, which supports your thyroid and immune system. A study found that seniors who ate wild salmon twice a week had 40% slower cognitive decline over 8 years compared to those who didn't eat it. The key is choosing wild, not farmed. Farmed salmon often lacks the same nutrients and may carry unwanted chemicals. Look for wild-caught Alaskan salmon. Sockeye or coho are great choices. You can grill it, bake it, or even use canned wild salmon to make patties. 2 servings a week is a smart target. Martha now calls it her brain food, and she's back to doing crosswords every morning with her coffee. Number 2 is green-lipped mussels. They may not be as well known as salmon or sardines, but when it comes to joint pain and stiffness, these shellfish are in a league of their own. Walter, 67, used to love walking every morning, but over time his knees started pushing back. Steps felt heavier. Bending down took effort. His doctor mentioned arthritis, and the options didn't sound fun. Strong meds, injections, maybe surgery down the line. That's when a neighbor at his community center mentioned something strange: mussels. Not just any mussels, green-lipped mussels from New Zealand. Walter was skeptical. Seafood for joint pain. But he gave it a try. A few times a week, steamed or mixed into pasta. Within a month, he said his knees weren't as angry. He could walk farther without needing to rest. After 2 months, no more elevator. He was back to taking the stairs. So what makes green-lipped mussels special? They contain a rare kind of omega-3 called ETA, short for eicosapentaenoic acid. It's 100 to 200 times more effective at reducing inflammation than the standard fish oil found in supplements. They're also rich in glycosaminoglycans, natural compounds that help rebuild cartilage and cushion your joints from the inside out. One study tracked older adults with arthritis who ate green-lipped mussels regularly. The results: nearly 90% reported less pain, and almost as many moved more easily without relying on heavy medications. These mussels also provide iron, zinc, manganese, and natural chondroitin, all of which support joint repair, immune health, and energy levels. If you can find them fresh or frozen, that's ideal. Just steam with garlic and herbs. If not, high-quality freeze-dried or extract supplements made from whole mussels are a good backup. Walter says they don't just help him move, they gave him back something he thought he'd lost: confidence in his own body. Number 1 is wild octopus. It might surprise you, this 8-armed sea creature isn't just smart in the ocean. It could be one of the smartest things you put on your plate for your brain, heart, and muscles as you age. Raymond, 71, was a retired teacher who'd always prided himself on his sharp memory. But over the past year, he started feeling foggy. He'd forget names mid-sentence, misplace small things, and sometimes just lose focus for no reason. He didn't want to rely on more pills, so he started looking into brain-friendly foods. That's when he came across something unexpected: octopus. Not fried, not processed, but wild-caught, gently grilled or stewed. He began eating it once or twice a week. After a few months, he felt more alert, more himself. His wife even noticed he stopped repeating stories, a habit that had crept in quietly over time. Octopus is rich in complete protein, meaning it contains all the essential amino acids your muscles need, especially as you fight age-related muscle loss. It's also one of the highest natural sources of taurine, a compound that helps regulate heart rhythm and protect brain cells from damage. In fact, taurine levels in octopus are 10 to 16 times higher than in most fish. Octopus also delivers a big dose of vitamin B12, which supports energy, nerve health, and memory, especially in people over 60, who often struggle to absorb it from supplements. But perhaps most fascinating studies have found that octopus contains unique peptides that may boost growth hormone, naturally helping counteract the slow, quiet loss of strength that many older adults experience. One study in older adults who regularly ate octopus found increased muscle mass, improved grip strength, and better cognitive scores after just a few months, all without changing exercise routines. For best results, choose wild-caught Mediterranean or Pacific octopus. Tenderize by freezing it overnight, then simmer slowly in tomato sauce or grill with olive oil and lemon. Start with smaller portions if you're new to it. Raymond now says octopus helped him wake up mentally and physically. Not just food, but fuel for the second half of life. You've just discovered 8 seafoods that can quietly shape how you age, some that drain your energy and inflame your joints, and others that protect your brain, support your heart, and help you stay mobile longer. Not every seafood works for every person, but making even one smart switch can ripple out into better sleep, better focus, and less pain in your everyday life. So whether you swap out tilapia for wild salmon, try sardines with crackers, or finally say no to that frozen shrimp bag, remember this. If this video helped you, give it a like and leave a comment below with your age and which seafood you're most likely to try or avoid. We read every single one, and your story might just help someone else feel less alone. In our next video, we're talking about avocados and 6 common mistakes that can quietly turn this healthy food into a real risk, especially after 60. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss it. Thanks for watching.